So we're recording.
Yay! Hi, everybody.
Hey guys, welcome.
Hi.
So we're here for about an hour or so, or give or take, a little longer, a little shorter, to talk about the one-year coaching program and talk about like transformations and all kinds of stuff that we're going to talk about. Sometimes when we teach the regular program, we go around and introduce ourselves, and just, I know a lot of people's cameras are off, and just in the nature of time, maybe we won't do that as much. Is that cool? Is that cool? Or do you want to go around and say hi to everyone?
Talking to me?
Yeah, you.
It feels like I feel like we're going to connect with them as we start talking about it, and let's see where everybody is, right? Let's just share with them what we have to share and what questions they have, and then if we get any hits and way that we can support them, we can do that. How's that feel?
I'm great with that. That's perfect.
You guys good with that? Yeah? Yeah? Okay.
Perfect. Amazing. And why don't you hold the conversation for a second, because Abby just sent me a message saying she can't find the link.
Okay, just can't find the link. Okay, so welcome, guys. We're so excited you're here. We're going to take you on just a quick, brief journey about what this year-long transformational program is about. We are calling it a coaching certification program because when you're finished, you will have everything. You'll not only the confidence, but also your whole business structure. You'll be set up, right? So, and that being said, the whole focus of this program is you and what it is you want to accomplish and have in your life. If you're wanting to create a second career, if you're just wanting to go through shifts and changes, things you want to create in your life, you know, that kind of, I'm feeling you, Divi. What?
Oh, nothing. I'm good.
Oh, okay. Did you get with Abby?
Yeah, I sent her a note.
Cool.
Because the course is all about you guys. So how we've set up the course is that it's actually a year of self-healing, a year of transformation. Okay. Right. And what Lynette and I both work as coaches, both work as intuitive coaches. Lynette's been doing it longer than I have. And she's actually my coach, if you don't know that. And what I've learned or recognized or awakened in myself through her work is, oh my God, right? And then we teach different things, and we'll talk about that as we go here. But the whole year course isn't necessarily just you have to become a coach. It's not that at all. Mm-hmm. It's literally a year of transformation with a capital T. Does that resonate to you guys? It's whatever is going on in your life. If you want to heal something physically, mentally, emotionally, your patterns, maybe your abundance conversations, maybe your stories in relationships, maybe your conversation about who you are as a person, all of those pieces and more we hit during the year. Make sense? And I think Lynette and I can both relate to, we can only coach from our own experience. So what we've worked through in ourselves, we can help others from that vantage point. So that's, the year is more set up as a journey for you, and you learn all the tools. And then when you're done, and during the course, you actually have lots of structure on how to coach and all that stuff, and practice coaching sessions. Then by the end, if you choose to, that's available. Does that make sense to you guys?
Mm-hmm. I think the one thing that we're finding with this course that is important to me and to Divi as well is that this isn't a situation where, okay, sign up and we're going to get the money and then here, you guys go do this. Here's all these videos. Here's all this stuff. This is going to be live, right? If you choose to be there live, you can always watch recordings, but it's also going to be about how you apply these things in your life, because you can't, no matter what's going on in your life, if you want to create a new business, have that partner, have the money, whatever it is that you're desiring, to be of service to the world, whatever it is, that is all starts with you. And we have to look inward before we can go outward. And we have to be clear here, because what we share from here and what we teach from here, you know, whether it's with your clients or with your family, that is what impacts the world, right? So, I mean, probably a good time for, Sabrina, you want to
Sure. So what we're going to do through the hour is Lynette and I will talk, and we'll answer any questions you have. If you want some guidance, you just type it in or put your hand up and I'll unmute you. But there's a couple of there's a few of us who are on the call who are in the current course right now. So the course is a year long. We started in January, so they're 6 or 7 months into it. There's a couple of people who are on the call who have decided to share their experience with you. And Sabrina and Abby both need to leave a bit early, so we're going to get them to share, and then we'll hop back in. Is that cool? Awesome. So let me unmute Sabrina and just start with that.
And what they're going to do is they're basically just, we didn't give them a script or anything, guys. We just asked them to share from their perspective what showed up for them, what tangible things that they have that they, right now at the 7-month point, what they've experienced and what, you know, just their own words, right? So just want to be really clear about that.
Sabrina?
I went ahead and rescheduled my next appointment, so Abby can go if she wants.
Okay, because yeah, Abby had a time crunch thing too. Yeah.
Thanks, Sabrina. Okay, cool. Oh, Abby, you're up. I can't unmute you though, hon.
Okay, no, I think I got it. You guys all hear me?
Yeah.
My experience with the course was just a lot of self-discovery. Just how much at ease I am with myself, and how when I changed myself, relationships around me completely changed. And just like literally the world around me and the way I perceive things completely changed. So it just gave me a greater ease of life in general. The relationships that you build within the course are amazing. Like you meet so many incredible people who are there for you no matter what. Like Sabrina and I talked earlier today, and they really helped me. So you're never in it alone, and I think that's the biggest thing, because you guys are constantly going to go up and down with your journey, and you constantly always have people to go to. And Divi and Lynette are literally, when they say they're there for you, like 24/7, I've been on my ass at random times, and they are definitely still there for me. So they are always there for you. So don't go into this course thinking that it's all on you. And I think that's something that I struggled with at first, was always having to do things myself and never asking for help. And that was like the biggest thing that turned around for me, is that there's always going to be people there to like pick you up and to like show you the light when you're in the dark. So it's amazing. Like the relationships you're going to build alone is totally worth it.
Awesome. Thanks, Abby.
Thank you.
So sweet. Thank you.
So much, honey. Does anybody have any questions to ask Abby? Feel free to, like, seriously. Don't be shy. They're like, go for it, Trisha.
So how did you find for example, Anatomy of the Spirit? I've started that book, and I find it quite difficult to follow. I'm a business person, you know, so I'm like, give me a formula, give me a model. And when I'm reading it, I find the material very, very heavy, very difficult to interpret and apply. So I thought I'd throw that out to Abby and potentially Sabrina as well. What were those challenges for you, and how did you overcome them?
Sorry, Abby. No.
Yep, good. Okay. The Anatomy of the Spirit, it is quite heavy, and I think like when you go into the course, there's also going to be some resistance with some of the material that you're going to be reading in the book. And resistance towards that will be explained in the course as well. And if you are a formula type person, which I totally get, because I was definitely a science girl in school and very like to the book, and that's also something I had to set aside for this course. And I think it's that you want an explanation for everything, and there's so much in that book that's kind of not how we've been taught, right? So it's just like a new way of learning and like a new way to perceive things. So reading that book alone and just like being gentle with yourself and taking the time to do it and learn new like how to perceive things better and new perspectives is going to be your first task. So yeah.
And I'll grab Sabrina a sec. And there's other people, Sharon and Danya and Alvaro also is here, are also in the course right now, just so you know. Sabrina, go ahead.
I do feel I'm very left-brained. I love my numbers, and I like everything I like numbers because it's always right, and you can only manipulate them to a point. Gray area is okay, but they're really clear. And when we took the intuition course, it was really helpful to me because Lynette was going over the tools and what you can do. And then Divi was explaining the doctor, medical, logical to help support my logical thinking. And then at some point too, it's just really cool. And you just got to let go and say, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a real important thing too, Trisha, that we, I was very much left brain. I was in the legal world. I mean, Divi has a beautiful way of bringing all the neuroscience, all the what's happening, so that we can feed our left brain while allowing the right brain to be open and creative and see new possibilities and create new neural pathway, new beliefs, new ways of being. Right? Did that help? Did that,
Yeah. And I think that I'll just have to have a little bit of relaxing of expectation perhaps, and just let things in as they may.
Right. And that's a big thing too. I mean, if you're looking at this course as a space of transformation just solely for yourself, that's where it has to start. Is in that space and learning to quiet yourself, so where you can be open to receiving that and saying, okay, this isn't making sense to me. What is that? Why am I blocking myself from, what is this? Right?
Yeah. It's a great question. It's a great question. I picked up that book early in my journey, and I was already a physician at the time, and that book really challenged me. Right. But it also explains so many things I didn't understand, so it does this double-edged thing. And like Abby was talking about, because it's a 12-month course, and like Lynette was saying, it's not here's the videos, we'll see you later. Lynette and I both are on every single call. We're a Facebook message away, like literally. And it's ironic because not ironic, but our schedules always seem to kind of be an opposite. So I'll get a message. I'll be like Abby or Francis or Sabrina, and I'll message something back. And then I'll be back into sessions, and then that client will email back, and then Lynette will be out of sessions and she'll respond to it. And it always seems to magically work out. And we're always 24/7 a messenger away. And when those resistances come up, as soon as we kind of crack them open, then flow has happened. And that will occur throughout the course. And that's what Abby's talking about. But when we hit those resistances, that's when we pass through them, and then everything starts to transform. Make sense?
And we've also created other support structure in that, having a coaching buddy, someone that you meet with regularly, as well as a pod group where you work together, where you meet monthly, and then Divi and I. So it's like, and then you'll also have mentors. This class is going to also have mentors who are the people who've already taken the class, who are there to support you as well. So it's nothing but, it is nothing but love and support, right? and getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. We're programmed to be uncomfortable with feeling good.
Yeah.
So that's what we're repatterning, right?
I'm just going to pull back and kind of make some general statements about the course, and then maybe we can hear from some of the other people. So let's talk a bit about, because I know a lot of you haven't watched the full webinar series, and it's a really great 6-part webinar series Lynette and I did last year. And it goes through the 6 different modules that we teach. So how this sort of came about was, I've been teaching mind, body, spirit medicine work and energy medicine for about 10 years, 11 years now. And Lynette's been my amazing coach on the side. And then as I've been growing that business, which I know I've known Sharon from forever and I know Chloe from forever. And then my clients started asking me for the intuition piece, which I use all the time. For those of you who never worked with me as a coach, I use it all the time. And see, Abby, and so the intuition piece they kept asking me for, but that was a piece that I've never felt comfortable teaching. So Let and I have partnered up, and so I teach the mind, body, spirit work and the energy work, and Lynette teaches the rest, as I always say. She teaches. So I teach the first 6 months, which are like when you're working with a client, the tools and techniques that are going on in their head, that if they can rewire, everything can change. Does that resonate? And that's what I work on for the first 6 months with you guys. And then Lynette teaches the second 6 months, which starts with the intuition module. Then we move into we go in and out of these modules, just so you know. We do the money module, the business module, and the light body module. So there's 6 modules in this course. And she does that part. But we're both on every call. Got it? And so this course emerged from that, because how I started coaching and working with clients was predominantly from my intuition, but also a lot of the information I learned from teaching yoga for 10 years. And I was watching people shift and heal in front of me. And one specific client who took me into fast forward this work was a client, some of you know the story, was a woman I was working with many years ago with breast cancer. And she started taking my courses because nothing else was working. And the next thing you know, it sounds like such one of those weird miracles, but it went away, right? And she puts it down to her changing her energy. And a lot of you who are on the call, who I've worked with once or a dozen times, have found small miracles. And there's no such thing as a small or a big miracle. But as soon as you shift something and something external shifts, then you kind of salivate and want more. Kind of make sense? And so this course has been accumulation of both of Lynette and I's work. And the idea is that you take the course for you first, always for you. And then if at the end or partway through you want to start coaching and helping others, the volume of business is out there. Like, oh my God, is the volume out there. And it's like crazy out there. But it's getting you aligned with what you feel in resonance for. And that's what all of the tools we work on, whether it be abundance, your relationship, all of those pieces are met. So, and how, I'm going to get it to say also, how we meet weekly for the first 3 weeks of every month. In the last 1 or 2 weeks, you're either doing your pod group or working with your partner. So there's always something going on. And yes, there's homework. And one of the emails that I get a lot is, how much time does it take a week? Typically an hour and a half to 2 hours a week, because an hour and a half call plus some homework that you've got to type in. But there's stuff that you're going to be doing daily. Like, let's just say we're teaching a meditation and you're learning a specific exercise. We're not counting that time that you're just applying in your life. Does that make sense? That you're just, you're meditating. That's not, specifically your homework. That's not the time allotment. The allotment is an hour and a half to 2 hours a week, give or take. But like Abby was referring to, it actually becomes your life for the year. Does that resonate? Okay. Do you want to add anything to that?
I think, and part of the biggest thing that we've seen is that this is all about, we teach about universal law as we go through this. And so it's approaching business and life from that perspective, from all the universal laws, not just law of attraction, right? And it's all utilizing them, and along with your intuition, along with all your other tools and skills you already have, and creating what you want your expression in the world to be, whatever that is, right? Whether it's an actress, a lawyer, a doctor, whatever it is, or a coach. The biggest thing here that I've seen is that I've watched these people really allow themselves to be supported, like truly supported, like really like open up and be vulnerable. Like we're really here for this. This is not, seriously, Divi and I, this is our mission in the world. And so it's like, to us, what matters is how you're implementing and integrating this in your life. Because if you're not living it, when you get finished with this, you're just going to walk out and go back to all those patterns and the way, everything that got you to where you wanted to be. Right? So this is literally transformation, and it is addressing that comfort zone. The things about us where we want to expand, but we may be frightened, right? And we dive into that. What's scaring you? What's stopping you? What are the thoughts there, right? What are you building, right? So it is very much, it's convenient because it's all, you can do it in your pajamas, right? You can show up and be in your pajamas. And at the same time, it is definitely what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. 100%, right? Even, and more so, right? But it is going to require you to take care of you.
And this group that we have right now, we're really blessed because every single one of them are biting in deep and they're applying it. Because for Lynette and I, it's not I mean, we're both super busy. We both love what we do passionately for our intuitive coaching. This is a passion project for both of us. Like, we do this to watch the transformations. We do this to watch the Sharons and the Sabrinas and Danyas and Alvaros. We do this to watch them shift. We love watching you guys step into your power. That's why we do this, right? We love watching people give up their stories so they can really step into what their divine is asking of them, what their divine wants to experience. That's a better way to say it. So, any comments or questions before maybe we'll get somebody else to share how it's been for them? We're good.
No.
Okay. Well, I think they'll have questions for other people. Danya, do you want to go next? Okay, go ahead.
This course has been really amazing for me. I was kind of thinking about it today and going like, what's the big thing for me? Definitely my own journey within it has been the biggest portion of it, although I do want to do coaching as a career. But I think the biggest thing is that I realized that I actually have a choice in every single moment of how I want to feel. So I don't ride the roller coaster anymore. I'm really able to, no matter how much stress is in my life, actually feel it or change how I'm feeling. And I know that even after this course, I will for sure never be the same again. Like, I will never give up that way of thinking and being. And I've never been happier in my life. I've never experienced so much joy. I've never felt so like good about my relationships. They've all changed so much. My relationship with my husband, my child, even my family who's not doing the course, who I don't share my coursework with, I've watched them transform just by being around me. And the advice I give to them now, if they come to me for help, not as a coach, but just as someone who loves them, is shifting their life. So it's really incredible. And I've also watched everyone that I'm in the course with, who I love so much and have like lifelong relationships with, shift as well. And it's so amazing to see how quickly people shift. It's honestly like 6 months and I'm a whole different person. So it's incredible.
Wow. Thanks, Danya. Wow.
Anybody have any questions for Danya? Seriously, don't be shy.
Don't be shy. Seriously, ask me.
Because, like, even if we don't know who you are, right? Just like, this is like, you're here for a reason, right? So don't hesitate. Don't hold back. Seriously. I'm that person. I know, because that's me. I'd be going, oh, I really want to ask, but I'm not going to. I'm embarrassed. I'm shy, right?
You guys are good?
Tanya. Thank you.
Thanks, Danya. Sharon, do you want to share?
Sure. Yeah. So, I echo a lot of what Danya said. I have to say I had a lot of resistance about joining. I've been wanting to be a coach for about 3 years, and I had been doing it and had some success. And then this course came up and I had a lot of resistance because I thought, I don't want to be in a course with a whole bunch of other people. I want somebody just to teach me, and I want to learn, and I want to do it all by myself. And one of the greatest gifts is what I learned from everyone else. I mean, it has been amazing. And then when we all met in person, each person in this course is so gifted and has so much to give and offer. And while there's limited sharing on the actual class time, the things that people do share are always like right on for me, right on for everyone else. And I shift, like, it's like, oh my gosh. And I have, like, things have had to start happening for me. And I've got clients now. I one day opened my email and I had 8 people wanting to be clients. And it was like overnight. And it was because I had done some work and shifted some of my energy. And then I got really excited, and I talked to Lynette today, because Lynette's also my coach. And I've been having a really good day. And then today I fell on my butt. And I scraped my knee, and it was just like
all on your right side.
Oh
my God!
And so
forward,
right? So things are really happening, and then all of a sudden, one of my subpersonalities, I self-sabotage myself, and things stop. But now I know what it is. Now I know how to work with it. Now I know that it's just the contrast showing up. Now I know that it's just my energy being blocked on my right side, which is your masculine, which is getting into all this fear because things are flowing. So the things that I've learned and how I apply them is like every single day, every single moment of every single day. And the other interesting thing is my boyfriend, his intuition has just like gone skyrocketing, and his manifestation is like out of this world. And so it's so fun to watch that happen as well. So, and to have both Divi and Lynette as teachers, not just one who on their own would be amazing, but to have both of them is like gold. So, yeah. So forever grateful.
Thank you. Thanks, Sharon.
Thank you.
And it's fun.
And it's fun. That's right. That's it. You know, because if you're not having fun, what is the point?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Everybody gets all quiet. Oh.
I'm going to speak to a couple of what Sharon did before I grab Sabrina and Alvaro. So some of you get my email. So I sent an email last night telling people about this. And it was, I had a client who at the last second something happened and she didn't show up. She came back from Mexico, so her time zones were off. She thought it was anyways, whatever. So I had a gap and I hadn't eaten, so it was perfect. I go eat, and I was like, oh, I want to send that email that I meant to send. So not in a rush, but I was just sending it. And you know how spell AutoCheck. Anyways, I was writing about tonight's class, and I was saying, you know, in this year's program, we've seen huge transformations, huge magical awakenings, and I wrote huge shifts, but I forgot the F. And, and so I got all these emails from people saying typo, and I'm laughing. Yes.
Or is it?
Exactly. Because sometimes to make those shifts, you have to go into the word without the F, right?
That's right. That's right.
I'm laughing so hard because what Lynette and Sharon are talking about is that simple expression from the Abraham work, which you may or may not know, which is ask and it's given. So I asked 11, 12 years ago, when I had learned about intuition, I had learned about, say, anatomy of the spirit and the idea of energy medicine. But 10 years ago, I asked the universe, I'm a physician. That's what I've come to the world. I'm done. But I want to now help people understand that there's another way to heal, but I don't know how to get there. Like, I don't have a clue. And then one of my acquaintances' friends introduced me to Lynette. So you ask and it's given. Does that make sense? And it was given to me through a coach who's helped me build everything I've been building. Does that resonate with you guys? So as soon as you ask, it's given. So if Sharon asks for 8 clients, she gets them. The only thing that's blocking is her resistance in her neural fibers. Does that make sense? So a lot of the course and a lot of what I teach and Lynette teaches is the stuff that we're doing to ourselves to get out of the way. And what Dunya was talking about she can deal with the stresses better, and she doesn't get herself in the slump as much anymore. And when she does, she can get out of it. That's the key, because it's all about our energy vibration. So if our energy vibration is here, then Sharon gets 8 clients. Boom. But as soon as her energy vibration goes here, the 8 clients are still there, but she can't see them. So a lot of the course we work on is how do we become aware of that, right, and move up. So I just wanted to make that into terms that you guys would understand. And so when she fell today, if you don't mind me sharing, Sharon, before the call started, we were up on the call first, and I'm laughing, and I'm like, you know, that's just a match to your brain saying, I can't do this, I can't keep this up, right? And so these funny things will happen, versus in the past, her and I both might have been like, oh my God, maybe that means we got to stop, you know? But it's just to show her what her mind has been doing. Does that resonate? So this work, actually what you will find, you won't end up calling it work, you'll call it a way of being. You're going to apply to your life every day. I took a picture of a stack of books that I had, and I was going to post on Instagram, which I never got around to. You and all of us on the call today probably have exactly the same libraries. Does that make sense? But taking it from the libraries to application in our brain is what this course is all about. Does that resonate? Lynette and I and everyone on this call could write 10 of those books. But it doesn't apply unless you actually, what I've seen with all of my clients, because my clients, I met Atta the other day, he knows what I'm saying. He's got this down. He can write these books, right? But then the application is the key. Does that make sense to you guys? And that's why the course has so many layers of help, from your personal coaching buddy to your pod group to us, to access to all the video calls and all the meditations at like a heartbeat. We're all there, because when you're in your stuff, you can't see it, but somebody else go, oh yeah, that's what you're doing. You're like, oh wow, that's it. Does that resonate?
Yeah, definitely. Somebody asked what night of the week are the calls. Christine did.
Yeah.
Christine.
Hey, Christine. Christine.
Hello.
Hey, Christine, how are you, hon?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Oh, lovely. I have Eva in the background, so I was keeping it on mute for lots of purposes. My daughter. Yeah, I was just wondering what night of the week the call is. It's once a week, right? For 90 minutes, you said?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So
what night is it?
What we did last time around was we did it by a vote.
Okay.
So, I can tell you right now it's not going to be Tuesday nights and probably won't be Monday nights because Lynette teaches Mondays and we have this class on Tuesdays.
Okay.
So it'll either be Wednesdays or Thursdays or Fridays.
Okay.
So we basically send it to a vote, and last time it wasn't really a problem to come up with it. The nice thing, Christine, is that all the calls are recorded and they're always there for you.
Okay. Perfect.
Cool. Awesome.
Thank you.
And just to piggyback that question, some people have emailed me and asked me what 3 days. Hey, Eva, what 3 days? So there's a 3-day in-person intuition part of the year, and we usually do it halfway through, right? Because it's the 6-month block, and that 3-day is always in person. Okay, and you'll find out when you get there why. And I want to address some of your heads. I'm hearing that I can't do that. You can. You can. We'll get Sabrina Sharon to talk about that in a minute, but you can. And those 3 days, we haven't determined the dates yet, Christine. It'll probably be February-ish because that'll be the 6th month. But what we do is, what we did last time was we sent out like, okay, what dates are blackout dates that you can't do? And then we pick a 3-day weekend, like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, that works for everyone. And we were able to do that with this group, even though it was June, which was like, a busy month, but we managed to pick a 3-day class. So.
Okay, amazing. And is that 3 days? Is that 3 days included in the course or no?
Yeah, it is. It's all included. The only thing, hon, that's not included is your transportation to it and your food and accommodations when you're there.
Okay, cool.
Sounds good. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Kevin. Okay, awesome. Anything else, or you're good? Okay, Christian.
Where is it usually? Do you have any idea, or is it all wherever?
So we did one in Whistler. We did one in Seattle. We haven't determined. We usually what Lynette and I do is we feel it. You know that about us.
Yeah. wherever the wind takes you. I love it. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
But it's not crazy far. It's not usually like in San Diego or whatever. It's usually somewhere somewhat close.
Usually, yeah. Because Lynette, do you want to grab that one?
Well, it's somewhat close. Somewhat close to what?
Sorry, I live in Vancouver.
That's
I guess that's not close to you then.
Okay, so like on the last one, Christine, I am the one who traveled the furthest from Texas.
Right.
So
it could be in Texas, is what you're saying.
No. Yeah, I should. Right? I'm like, wait, hey guys, now since I traveled last time, you guys all traveled to me. No.
Love it.
We'll do it. We'll probably do it somewhere in the middle. Like Seattle was good, but we want to fill into it, right? So maybe in Oregon.
Cool.
Who knows, right? Something that's going to support the energy of the group, because that's the most important thing.
Okay.
Right? Where we have access to nature and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's
so it's kind of like a retreat. It is actually a retreat part of the course, right?
Nice. Okay, cool.
Awesome. Thanks, Christine.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christine.
Great questions. Anyone else want to ask any questions before we keep going? You guys are quiet, or you have it all figured out.
Know it all.
Good. Okay. Sabrina, do you want to share? Oh, wait, I can't unmute you, hon.
Yeah, she's got to unmute.
Yeah, I have dogs, so just to save you from their barking. So I joined this course. For me, I didn't intend to be a coach. And so I have a daughter and a boyfriend, and my daughter, it's given me some really great tools to help her and her life. She's in college now. And my boyfriend doesn't really, sorry, I'm a little nervous. My boyfriend, he doesn't really participate in this thought process. So this course, when I think about what it's given me, is consistency and community. So just meeting every single week, when they say every week, it's like, oh my gosh, you think you have a week off? No, you've got your pod calls, you've got your buddy. I mean, my partner is in Portugal, and I'm so ecstatic because I can't wait to go there and meet her. But yeah, I mean, it's nice to see Danya and Sharon, and I can't wait to go visit or connect in other ways outside of our phone calls. And it's authentic. It's not like a hi, like everybody. When you meet like you see everybody's stories and you watch them grow, and then that 6-month point you meet each other and you just really get an opportunity to connect. And it's nice to be around and to be supported by like-minded people. So, and on a side note, my business, I'm a real estate agent. My business has exploded. Just to give a point of reference. So last year I closed 3 homes, and in the last month I just got another listing yesterday, but I've got 2 homes that are going into escrow. And just out of the blues today, somebody's like, can you show me a house tomorrow? That has never happened to me. And I smile and I say, oh my gosh, it's happening. And I don't know at what point the shift happened. I don't know what it was, but I know that it's because I show up every week for my calls. I show up to my pod. I show up for my buddy. I show up for my family, and I just follow what I learn. And it's changing my life.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Divi and Lynette.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. Because that, seriously, so Sabrina, when we talked to Sabrina about signing up, she's like, oh, yeah, but I don't want to be a coach. No, I need to be able, she's someone who can pick up and be in Paris tomorrow, right? That's who Sabrina is. So she's like, no, I don't want to be tied down to this stuff. And now all of a sudden it's like, well, coaching, I really love this. So it's beautiful watching that evolve, right? Because there's no pressure. It's just really about everybody stepping into who they are authentically, right? And blossoming in whatever direction you desire it to go. Truly.
The nice thing about coaching, and Alvaro's on the call, so I'll grab him in a few minutes. The nice thing about coaching that you might find as a career, because guys, don't forget, I've gone from the medical world to this world. The nice thing about coaching is that it's not a tiring career. Do you know what I mean? Like this is going to sound really weird. All you're doing is you're holding an energy of love for the person. That's what you're doing. And you're giving the messages through intuition, as well as, the energy work in mind, body, spirit, and getting to know the clients that are for the highest and greatest good for the client. And you actually get to watch them shift and transform, which is super cool. Like, it's super cool. And one thing that I keep hearing from some of you guys, because you guys are so quiet, so I'm tuning into what you're thinking, is that is like a fear of, can I do this? Guys, if I can do it, I got into med school, I was 19 years old, okay? If I can do it, y'all can do it, okay? And we watched it in Seattle just recently. People were coming going, I can't do this, and they were getting hits. Now, the way you'll get hits, Cheryl, Crystal, the way you guys are going to get hits, Josley, are different than the way I get them. Does that make sense? And even when I took my first intuition course about 12 or 13 years ago, I never, ever thought I would ever use it. Like, it was like, let me say it differently. I never thought I would use it for work. I would use it for my son, who's now 13. I would use it for my marriage. I would use it for my business at the time. But I was never going to use it to sit in front of somebody and tell them what I was picking up. Are you crazy? Like, who does that? Right? But what I've had the opportunity to watch is how those messages can transform another. And the coolest thing is you can do it by phone, by Skype. Most of you know I have an in-person location. Lynette doesn't. So,
I work from home, baby. I work from the lake. It's out there, the river. I keep calling it a lake. It's a river. I've only been here 7 months. So.
But the thing is, you get to choose that. You get to decide what you want. And I think one of the differences with coaching is that, like, one of the big things that you'll learn over the year, you get to decide. I know the way I was raised, my father or my mother decided for me. Make sense? So I never had a decision-making process, or my pathway that thought I wasn't good enough as I was making a decision. Does that resonate? And so then you get to kind of pull it apart and go, wait a second, do I want that or not? Or what do I really want? And a lot of times we don't know it because we're so up here. That makes sense to you guys? How is this feeling? Is this landing for you guys? Cheryl, Jocelyn, is this guys landing? Yeah? Okay. You have comments, questions. What's going on for you guys?
I could drop a pin, man.
I just said pin drop.
I know. I was just like, I could drop a pin, man. Fine.
So,
Like this is
Dilly, I have a question.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Yes, Anta, go ahead.
Maybe it's a more of a parking lot question. I don't know. I've never met Lynette before either. So I'm an executive coach. Style of coaching I do is developmental coaching. So it's like over 3 years of rigorous coaching practice, training. So I appreciate it, and I have visceral experience of going through transformations like 7-8 years ago when I started this whole thing. I finished actually the first coaching program was 2 years. So I didn't even know what we were going to talk about because I had a session with Dr. Divis and she said, show up. That was the only medicine she gave me. So I'm just, I'm already like a coach. I'm like curious in terms of if you've had anyone who's been an executive coach in the past in your program.
Sharon was a coach. Sharon was a coach before she started, right, Sharon?
Yeah, I hadn't taken a formal coaching program, but I was coaching and doing.
So mine is like a master level program at International Coaching Federation. So it's like a professional certified coach.
And that is a whole different. Do you want me to address it, Divis?
Yes, I was going to say you.
Okay, so that is a whole different. So that technique, the style, and I'm completely familiar with it. I have clients who are involved in that. But it's like they approach it differently, right? We're approaching it from a more creative, universal law, utilizing universal law, using Abraham techniques and processes, using some of Divis' energy processes. So it's a lot of energy work, using thoughts, create things, that kind of mindset, right? Using that terminology versus the Federation. They have a little bit more constraint, there's a lot more constraints, whereas this is more of a way to utilize not only your intuition but expand for yourself as well as hold a whole different space for your clients, because not everybody's going to fit into that box, right? I mean, for me, I'm not really sure why Divis had you come on. I mean, that would be her, right? But I mean, that would be my answer. That's just a whole, like, so the whatever, because we have several over here in the States, right? There's different different brands of that, but that's typically very masculine, right? You got to sell, you got to do this. There's a lot of this, a lot of this, and I'm generalizing. Right, I'm not putting it down, but our style is a little bit more, it's a little bit softer, a little bit more organic, and following universal law. Did that help?
No.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
Oh,
I knew he was kidding.
I lost him. I'm speaking.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang up the phone now. This was. And I'm just if I don't you two facilitate this call, so I don't know how much time or what's left, but I'm curious in terms of, I just heard now, Lynette, that you only do this over the phone, or over Zoom. I do coach for companies usually globally, and I'm from my home office where I am right now. There's no river in front of me, but there's Pacific Ocean somewhere.
Pacific Ocean. I lived in Laguna
I'm just
Beach.
curious, how do you see somebody's higher self through Zoom? I'm curious in terms of how does that work? Is it like another mastery level program, or you learn that through these 12 months program?
Definitely, we talk about that because it's energy, right? And you can even, like right now, I can tune in and I can see your aura. I mean, especially you're sitting in front of a perfect color wall. Thank you very much.
Please tell me more. I won't be embarrassing for and it's being recorded. There you go.
Right. It's being recorded. Yeah. So part of the benefit of this work is that being able to Like I've worked with coaches. I've worked with all types of, self-help, all that, I've been therapist, right? Always been one to want to expand and learn more. The one thing that I see about what we're teaching here and what our purpose is we get to the heart of the matter. We don't screw around and spend 6 months going, it's like, no, I'm getting a hit. I see your father. What's going on with your dad? What's your relationship with your dad? It's like, right? Not, okay, tell me how you feel about your father. Does that make sense? Did that make sense?
I felt like that will be a very long conversation, and I will have maybe another offline.
Yeah, because your dad is right there beside you, honey. There's a lot of stuff around your dad.
Oh, okay.
And they're saying that that's part of the reason why you feel confined in the corporate structure you're in. And why you're drawing. And it might be why Divi was guided to have you here, because this is a whole not that one or the other. I want to say this. This is not saying that one way is good and one way is bad, because I am not that, right? I believe that everybody needs to have their own way. And we all learn differently. We're all here for different expressions and that's why we're all unique, right? But I think that part of the reason why you were guided here to this call is because there's a need for you, not a need, there's a desire for you to go into a little bit softer, more organic way of being. You push yourself a lot. Does that resonate?
No.
No? You're lying right now. I can see that.
Yeah, I think everybody got that. Yes, thank you. Thanks for this.
So does that make sense, though, telling you the difference between the two?
Yeah, you kind of lost me around the father thing, but maybe I'll have a sample session with you offline.
Okay. All right.
I'm just going to answer that in a different way. Oh, let me grab Sarah. Let's go and just answer that at the same time I'm grabbing Sarah. So that's a lot of what you're asking, Etta, is what we learn leading up to the intuition course and in the intuition course. Does that make sense? Like the 6 months leading up to it and in the intuition course is all about that. And obviously I was guided to tell you about tonight's class because the guide told me to, but also because even if you're not aware you're asking, there is an ask. And what Lynette's referring to when she talks, like when I work with clients and say they've seen counselors and all that stuff, which is amazing and wonderful. Well, the difference with intuitive coaching that I have found, and many of you found who have worked with me or Lynette, is it is like a knife through butter. Does that make sense? It's a knife through butter. And it's like, don't worry, Asa, she said the same thing to me about my dad. Don't worry, honey. So, so it's a brown thing. So when we get that it's like joke, I get to joke. So it's, I'm hot. So when we get to joke about ourselves and go, oh, right, I know where that comes from, then we see that we're keep living into those walls. So thank you for asking that question. It's an amazing question. So
it really is. And it's powerful because with that ease of laughter, you're right, but you can open up. There's a space to see and witness yourself and your client, because your client is always a reflection of you. Mm-hmm. Always. And so if you continue to see the same clients and the same issue, it's like, hello, do the work inside. Right? And that's what we're talking about. We are all about walking the talk. Right? That's why we keep these classes kind of intimate, so that we can, this is about the work. Not the work, but the deep dive in. I keep saying work.
So do I. Sorry, Sarah, you had a question.
Yeah, I've got a two-part question. My first one is that you and Lynette have mentioned Abraham Hicks quite often from just listening to you guys today and from your past webinars. Are there any? I think a lot of us are familiar with his stuff. He's pretty famous. Are there any other teachers that you two have used as mentors, or are we really just going to focus a lot on his teachings only?
No, not definitely not. We just, their processes most people know, so we mention them. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So we use a lot of the Orrin and Divis stuff, the light body stuff. Lynette, do you want to add any others?
Well, we do a lot of all the books of I'm like looking at my. We use a lot of Sonia Roman with creating money. We do a lot of, I'm looking at my books. the dynamic laws of prosperity. A lot of it, now some of the processes are processes that Divi designed herself.
Yeah.
Some of them are Abraham processes, and some of them are Oren and Deben processes. And when I say processes, it's like, okay, you're sitting across from a client and they can't see themselves as successful, right? What do you do to turn that around, right? How do you get them to raise their vibration before they leave? And how do you get them to sustain that until the next coaching session, right? So we're utilizing Divi's processes that I come as far as intuition and the money part. I teach the money module. So those are my processes, and along with Oren and Deben's and ones that I've been passed down through Think and Grow Rich. It's just, I mean, Divi and I have got together probably over 50 years of just our personal studying, right? So some of this is like who we've become. Right? Like been a Reiki master for a zillion years, and I'm not going to teach you Reiki, but there's all that wisdom and all that experience there. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Does that help?
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to look into some of the names you mentioned.
And we've got a book list too that you can take a look at.
And let's answer, sorry, Sarah. Carmen's question was, are there books? Yes, there are, honey. There's 4 or 5 books required. So once you register, we send you that list. So Trisha's got it. I was going to send it to Cheryl. But yeah, then they're read through the year. You don't have to read them all at once, but there are 5 books. there are 4 or 5 books that are required reading. Yeah. Sorry, Sarah, go ahead.
No, that's right. My next one is almost with religion. So there's a lot of people, especially coming in today's day, it's all spiritual, but I do see a lot of religion coming back, and not necessarily I may not express myself all that well, but not the old religion, but the new religion, where God is still a very big present in our world. How, if I wanted to, my goal is to coach and to help and etc. How can I balance or offer balance for myself and as well as the people who I'm going to be helping out with the ability to, it's okay to believe in God, but to also believe in the law of attraction, because they kind of contradict each other when you think in God again, and everything's written for you, everything happens for a reason, it's all engraved in stone. But then we talk about the law of attraction, where what we put out is what we receive. So how does one battle that?
Did you want that, or you want me to?
We can both do it. You go first.
Oh, you go first.
Okay. So I think it really depends what religion we're looking at, Sarah. I was raised as a Hindu. And so in the Hindu religion, what I was taught was that God is inside of you and outside of you, right? And so from a young child, that still kind of racked my brain. So really this is about the divine is in you. The divine I am that is called Sarah in this beautiful body called Sarah is the divine energy. And so once you tap into that, you focus there, it can occur. Focus there, it can occur. Rather than looking something as something outside that's here to hurt us and harm us, is that potential or power. So we're putting it in you. In the course and in my own work with my clients, I don't talk about God. I don't talk about religion. In my own personal life, just so you know, Sarah, I don't practice a religion. I don't do that. Not because anything's wrong with it. It's just a personal choice, right? But I have many clients who are religious, very religious actually, but I've never ever done hit heads. It's never been an issue with any of my very religious clients. And sometimes I can say it in ways that they hear it, because don't forget, when I'm doing it using intuitive processes, I'm receiving messages that are said in such a way that the client gets it like that. Mm-hmm. And it's not the way I would say it to my brain, but it's the way that they can hear it. And that's the beauty of using intuition.
Okay.
Does that help a bit? Or
yeah, it's a tricky subject. Yes, it does. I completely understand that, for sure. Yeah. The separation.
Right. What I'd like to add to that too is that I have clients that are CEOs, CFOs who are very left brain. I mean, like in big, don't think like spiritual's not on their radar, right? But we can talk about things from an energy perspective, thanks to quantum physics. And so that's what we talk about. We talk about energy. We talk, depending on your client, right? Who you are, like as you learn to tune in, who you are is exactly who your client needs you to be, right? The way that you say things, they're going to go, oh, like, oh, wow. So why did you use that word? You're going to go, well, I don't know. It's just what came through. Right. And so it is so beautiful because there's not a cross section of people that you couldn't work with.
Yeah.
Depending on what you're drawn to. Right.
Yeah. And it's really exciting. And that's something we do work on in the course in the last 6 months is who is your avatar client? What type of person do you want to work with? And it can change, right? We work on so just so you guys know, you actually, by 6 months into the course, after the intuition part, Sharon, Danya, Sabrina, Alvaro, we'll hear from you, Alvaro, in a second. They're all ready to get out there. Do you know what I mean? So the last 6 months is, okay, let's talk about who you want to work with. And we watch them. We watch Sharon go get but attract in or manifest 8 clients. And so her win is everyone's win, right? And then we watch Danya go out and manifest 12 or 3, and it's not about the numbers, but then it's like looking at who it is. Well, I work with this person. I don't really want to work that type. Well, who do I want to work with? And it's getting clear. So the last 6 months is actually more like, if you want to think of it as an apprenticeship or whatever you want to think of it as, where you're actually out there earning money, creating clients, creating a business. And Lynette and I, it's like working with you guys to, I'm teasing, is like helping you, mentoring you. Because when people ask me, Sarah, and people ask me all the time, how do I create my business? I get asked that at least once or twice a week. I go, oh, there's this woman called Lynette Brown. She lives in Texas. She's awesome. Do you have a phone number? And that's what I always say. Got it? Because she has taught me how to align my energy to create what I've created. It's not, does that make sense? It's not like me going out there going, well, you come see me. I just do what she tells me to do and it works. It's crazy. So does that make sense? Okay. Trisha, you had your hand up. Or did you?
Oh, no, I was just laughing. Maybe I was stretching or something.
Any other comments or questions before I go to Alvaro? And so, yes, there are men in the client. Let's go.
Question, baby.
Oh, sorry. Who is? I'm sorry. Danya. Sorry. Go ahead, Danya.
It's not a question, but it's something that I think might help a little bit, is that the intuition part of this course is a huge component, learning our intuition, and not one person in our course doesn't have intuition. Probably 80% of the course started out thinking they didn't have intuition, but now we all firmly believe that we have intuition. Some of us came into the course knowing we had intuition. Like for myself, I had been working with my intuition for a while. Now it's exploded. So a lot of the questions that you're asking, like for me in a session now, after 6 months in this course, if I'm with a client, what source or the universe is sending me to speak to that client is the exact language they need to hear. So all the questions about like, how would I say this? How would I do this? How would I handle that? It's amazing how they kind of all go away because you just get the right thing in. And even if you don't think you're intuitive, I guarantee you will see that you are through this course, and you'll be able to trace back in your life where you were already intuitive and that you've always been intuitive, because we all are. But even for that alone, it's Lynette and Divi are the 2 best teachers I've ever had for that. And I've taken lots of courses in this kind of world. And they're the best combination of everything that help you pull out that belief in yourself and explore it more.
Thank you, honey.
So sweet.
I know. I'm just like, wow.
I know. I'm like, we didn't do this for this, but
right. But it feels good, baby. I'm
really
loving it. I'm like, oh, can we do this tomorrow night too?
Get everybody on there. Alvaro, do you want to share how the experience has been for you?
Sure. Well, thanks a lot, everyone, for being here. And following on Danya's, I agree that the course, I didn't know what I was getting into. And I have learned to step into that alignment. I come from I'm an engineer. I do buildings in this city. And so I'm very quantum physics as well. Still, I come from a yoga background, shaman background. And the course has aligned me in a way that it's been playful to accept and feel normal with the pod group, with Lynette and Divi, with the people that we're engaging, and that really supports a different level of facing the fears and just speaking out without just being. Just the fact to know that life is, at least for me, it has not turned as I planned it. It has been even more incredible as I planned it, even though every time I planned it, it takes a different route. I get to the goals, still I don't get, like with a compass, if I want to go north, it takes me 69 degrees. So I'm resetting my goals at this stage of my life, because sometimes we don't even know what we ask for. And we're getting it through our lives. So now it's to reset the compass, and by the processes to step into our own nature, into our own tools, and everyone brings our own luggage, our own family background, our own history, our own ethics, and we're all jumping into a space that is a non-conceptual space, the non-conceptual mind. And that has supported me in such a way that there's no ways to tell you how thankful I am on the transformation. I didn't know what I was stepping into. I met Divi a year ago, pretty much. And since then, she transformed my life in some decision-making, in a transition that I was going. And nowadays, I can tell you that my habits have shifted 100%. And I'm still shifting them. And I'm not gonna lie to you, oh, it's easy, it's super, it's gonna be fun all the time. No, I've been through ups and downs. Still, the roller coaster has been supported with many of us that are here tonight, outside of the Zoom, having coffee with pod groups, and we connect to each other in a way that is just so open that we know each other, we know each other, and we love each other. And that has no price, pretty much. So thank you, and it's a journey, really. Life is a journey, and it's up to us. So it's an incredible toolbox, what their experience, what they're bringing up. And the intuition, I completely agree with Danya. Everyone stepped into that room and we didn't know what we were stepping into. Everyone was like, what is happening here? And by the end, everyone was just completely stepping into their own experience and supporting each other, how we are. So normally at my work, I'm stepping into different positions, new developments, new projects, stepping into my day-to-day interactions in designing, in construction, in testing, in whatever I have to do, with a completely different vibration all the time. And the mind has been opening, and it's all thanks to the people that have been part of this journey so far. And I know that the journey will continue.
Thanks, Alvaro.
Thank you, Alvaro.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So I want to piggyback on something Alvaro said. I think that might be helpful, just to hear in a different way. One of the things Lynette did for me that I remember like it was yesterday is she saw sides of me that I wasn't willing to see. Does that make sense? These sides of me that I didn't like about me, that I want to put in the garbage. Like, no, I don't really have that. I don't have this part of me that da-da-da-da-da, right? But one thing that Alvaro is referring to is when you're, and that's what you're going to get with the group of people, is when you are loved and you don't see that as wrong and that is loved, then you show up in the world as a different person. Does that make sense to you guys? And we all have that. We have lots of them. And the beautiful thing is when you, like Alvaro was commenting about, learn that you are love. There was one woman who emailed me after the intuition course, and she said she was a little like shocked by the weekend, didn't know what to expect, was like this when she laughed. And she emailed me that night saying, I had no idea what to expect. I've never been loved like that ever in my life. Not by her parents, not by her family, not by her lover, not by her kids. And the love that when you love these sides of you, your whole life changes. Everything changes. And that's what Lynette and I are here for. We're here to transform that which is you perceive as blocking you, money, relationships with your kids, blah, 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 blah. And then when you start to shift your vibration and learn to love these pieces because everyone else around you is, watch out. Then it's just, whoa. Does that make sense to you guys?
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if we can spend a second, Lynette, talking about animal intuition, because a couple of people asked me about it.
Sure,
go for it.
Oh, I'm like, what do you want me to say?
So a couple of people on the call who aren't here now, who are listening to the recording, are doing the course because they want to be animal intuitives.
Right, and as an animal, working with animal intuition is the same as tapping into any other intuition. And so if they wanted to focus on the animal aspect, we could definitely weave that into the course.
Yeah.
Either the intuition course or through their practice, whatever, however they're going to use it. Yeah. They want to have clients or whatever.
Yeah. So just how are you guys feeling? Any comments, questions? Have we left anything else out?
Anything that you guys know?
Did you feel I feel some resistance. Do you feel that?
Mm-hmm.
What's the resistance? Guys.
Well, I keep hearing it's a lot of money.
Okay. Let's talk.
How many people feel that way? Raise your hand.
Problem with working with intuitive.
There you go. I don't know what her name is. OEM, it says.
I feel it.
I felt you, baby.
How much is it?
Can I unmute you?
How much
sorry. It's $12,000, and then there's payment plans on it as well. So let's talk about. I unmuted.
Canadian or US? Sorry.
No. Which one do you want?
No, US. Not that, Divvy.
I'm teasing. It's Canadian.
Oh, okay, but they don't know that.
Oh, I know. I'm just hot right now.
Oh, okay. You are, baby. You are so hot.
You're so sweet.
All that and a bag of chips.
Okay, so so there's payment plans on there. And one thing I just want to comment on the cost before I grab yourself about the resistance that Lynette called you out on is you, yes. I unmuted you.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. That's my kind of girl right there. Go ahead, Divvy. What were you saying?
Okay. There's payment plans on the website. I can email it to you guys afterwards. A couple of things I want to say. If those payment plans don't work, we'll come up with another. But the biggest thing I want to say to you guys, one of the reasons we ask these people to be on the call is because the value of the transformation has no price. There's no price. Because then you're in your head. It's priceless. You're in your head. Like I, quote unquote, pay Lynette X number of dollars every month. So does Sharon. We quote unquote pay her. But and it took me literally, guys, I'm not joking. It took me about, no offense, Lynette, it took me about a year to really, like when I first started working with her, to understand what I was actually doing. What I was doing is investing in myself. Because literally I would be on a coaching call with Lynette, and I'm not joking, and I'd have no bookings. And I'd come off the call and there'd be 3 people who booked just because I was in the hour with her. What happened? Does that make sense? And that will be your experience throughout the year. Does that resonate? Not once, but multiple times. It will start as you won't get mad at your partner as much. You'll be nicer to your kid. You'll be sweeter to your boss.
As much.
You won't kick the dog as much.
I'm kidding. Don't kick your dog. If you're kicking your dog, don't kick your dog.
But what you will start to see is you are as powerful as you choose to be. And Lynette and I's, one of the things we provide you is that support to seeing you in that divine. And so you are exchanging money for what you call money. Money is just an energy. Exchanging that for your transformation. Does that resonate? And there is no price. That's why we had a couple of these people on the call tonight. So you could actually hear what happens during the year. Does that make sense to you guys?
It's definitely an investment, right? And it's an investment. And the way that I look at it, because what I pay my coach, you guys would it would curl your hair. But what I pay my coach is it's an investment not only in my business and who I am professionally in the world, but in me, Lynette, the person, the mom, the grandmother, the partner, the animal lover, the healer, the creative, the goofy girl, all that, right? Okay, You have to, okay, so on your, can I go?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know your name. What's your first name?
Me?
Yes.
I'm Oleanne. I'm not on my own computer. Sorry.
Okay. Oleanne?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's hilarious, baby. They have been drawing a circle around you during this whole class. And so what I want you to know is there, and it's like blazing through me. It's like, don't let your fear, and it's not about signing up for this class, okay? Mm-hmm. But don't let your fear stop you from having the life you want. They're saying you always get halfway there and you stop. Right? Does that feel like you don't complete?
Mm-hmm.
And so if it's a money conversation, can you see it as an investment in yourself? Not for this course, just any money that you put out is an investment.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like I'm not actually, I don't have any problem with the amount of money for this course, like for the specifics of the amount of money and for what I'm doing. I've kind of, since I've started looking into doing this course, I've realized that my relationship with money is really weird. And I thought it was really quite okay. And it's not. It's super weird. It's really strange. And awesome. I don't get it at all. And so I'm looking forward to the money module for sure. I have no problem like spending that amount of money on myself. I think it's just because it's like I relate to material things so well, which is really disappointing. But like, I just really want a new truck so bad.
Awesome.
But I know it's all going to come together for me. I think I'm just like, I'm in a position in my life right now where I'm just really kind of feeling graspy and frightened because it's like I left my career because it wasn't resonating with me, and I don't actually have a career right now, and I am picking up cleaning jobs. I'm like a part-time janitor basically, which isn't what I want to do, but that's how I'm planning on paying for this course. So that freaks me out too, is that like I'm cleaning toilets to get like intuition. Well, great.
Well, I have to tell you, I have one of my closest girlfriends who quit her big corporate job and put herself working like at a half price books because she's like, you know what? Obviously, I need to cut wood and carry water.
Yeah, right.
This corporate thing is killing me.
Yeah.
And I can't live with it. And so obviously let me do something like this. And so I can clear that out. And here's the thing, when you have a moment, money goes in ebb and flows. It's like the ocean, right? And we'll go into all this in the course, but here's the thing. What we do in the ebb is what makes all the difference in the world. The fact that you're going around and you're working as a janitor, you're cleaning up, that makes a difference. Wait, look, I'm here to tell you, I have a housekeeper every week, and she drives so far, but I pay her more because you know what? That is so valuable.
Yeah.
I'm serious. It's a gift.
Yeah, the woman that I work for, she really likes me, and we're really building a beautiful relationship. And
that's not an accident.
And I'm seeing more like into. I don't know. I can't explain it in words right now because I'm having a lot of like feelings about what's happening in my life, and I know there's a lot that's transforming always, and I'm enjoying being really like engaged with people, and I left one client to work for another one because I just liked her energy more, it just resonated with me. Right. So I'm kind of just going with the energy, but yeah, I just keep like seeing dollar signs. I mean, there is the stress of like, one of the things I want to work with more is how I really take on like other people's shit.
Energy.
Yeah. And energy. Okay. Right.
We step into other people's momentum.
Yeah. And my partner is like, has such what I want to call a terrible relationship with money. maybe it's like freaking me out, like I'm dating my mom or something like that. I'm sure that's what's coming up for me because he's like in debt and he's like struggling, and his career is a whole thing, confusion too. So anyway, there's so much fear. It's like, it's a big thing. Yeah. There's a lot going on for me energetically.
And I know that you've already registered for the course. So what I would have you do starting right now, I would have you
go clean another toilet tomorrow.
No, yeah, that too. But go get the Abundance book. That's a book that we have. It's one of the books. It's the Abundance book by John Randolph Price.
Okay.
And get it. It's a little bitty book. And it is, I have been working with that book for 20 years in and around my money conversation, my wealth consciousness. Mm-hmm. And it is brilliant. Now Divi has a picture of it. He does use the word God. If that gives you a hard time, you can say divine or universe.
No, it doesn't matter.
I know, but we got to be sensitive to that stuff, right? But that little bitty book, I've been playing with that book for over 20 years, and stuff happens it truly works. It's amazing. It's changing your mindset around money. It's like really seeing what is the cause. Where is the cause of your money? Mm-hmm. It is not you cleaning toilets. Seriously, it's not me being a coach.
Yeah.
The cause of my money is the divine within me. Now, how does that blow your, right? I know. Get that book. Get started now.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much. That was great.
That was beautiful.
Really great.
That was beautiful, honey. It's nice to see you.
There's one other thing that I was hearing somebody say, probably intuition, I'm joking, was something that I heard energetically someone say, and there's a message for you there on the side for you from Trisha on the type chat section. So there was somebody was asking energetically, are there too many coaches? Lynette, do you want to grab that? Or do you want me to grab that?
Not at all. Because here's the one thing. There's all kinds of stuff. This coaching industry has been inundated, and make sure you how to. Here's the thing. There are millions of people out there that need, want, and desire support to better their life in whatever capacity that looks like. And that's why all of us are so different, right? That's why Sabrina is who Sabrina is, Lynette's who she is, Sharon's who she is, Divis who she is, right? Alvaro's who he is. Because it's a special fit. And if you believe in competition, if you believe that there's not enough out there for you, that's exactly what you're going to experience. If you believe you have to bust your booty and struggle to make money, to work for yourself, that's what's going to happen. And we are the opposite of that. That's when I was explaining to Ada, did I say his name? But because it's more the flow. It's more like I'm going to float on my back. I'm not going to fight the tow. I'm not going to fight the waves. I'm going to let the waves carry me into shore. Kind of got on my soapbox a little bit there. Sorry.
That was good.
Competition is a thing for me. Yes, Sabrina?
Sabrina, let me grab you, hon. Go ahead. No, I didn't get you. I can't get you. Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to speak to that for a minute, because in real estate, it's sales, sales, sales. So everything's about money. I mean, everything's about how many calls do you make? How many doors are you knocking? How many touch points do you have today, tomorrow, and the next day? And this is such a different mindset of just allowing to getting super clear on what you want your client to look like. And I'm not saying the other ones won't show up, because they do, and they serve a really great purpose, because you look at them and you say, okay, now I know what I don't want, right? But that's been a huge shift for me, because every time I show up a meeting, they're talking about how many doors did you knock? How many people have you called? And I am so contra to that now, that now I just look and I kind of giggle, and my girlfriend and I have the same thought process, and we go, oh, only if they knew, right? But now that the results are showing up, like there's that part where you just, I don't want to, like, you fake it till you make it, right? You fake it till you make it. And then there's that moment when you're making it and you're like, oh my gosh, like I just showed up to my open house because I like open houses. And out of that open house, I got a buyer and somebody who wants to sell their house. Like, how did that happen? I've been doing this thing for 4 years. That's never happened. And all of a sudden, in the last 4 weeks, it's all, and some could say it's coincidence, and I don't believe in coincidences. So just wanted to share that because it's kind of that mindset.
Yeah, because you've been practicing it, right? Like you said, showing up every week. It gets you in that rhythm and that deliberate practice.
Yeah. Even when you don't want to show up.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything else coming up for you guys? I'm circling Crystal and Atta. What's going on here? Atta, you're good? Oh, I can't unmute you. Yeah, you are.
I muted myself. I know it's interesting. I guess I like to think I'm a successful executive coach.
Mm-hmm.
I trained my butt off for the training I did, and it ticks me off when people, and I mentioned this to Divi, that take a day and a half to go to Southern California and become a life coach.
Yeah.
It takes me 3 years and 3 different coaching certifications to do what I do like 10 years ago, starting that journey. Yeah, so it's a lot of, to me, it's like I'm a developmental junkie. So I feel like I need to go to a rehab. that was up for me when you called me, Davey. I'm like, I've been doing this for like 10 years and I need to see the fruition of it. Maybe I get that book and start, because this thing started in September. Maybe
go for it.
It's one thing that resonated with me the most as an observer, skeptical observer, with all the love and respect, is the part that Divis said, you basically tapping to that higher being, whatever she called it. You speak in a way that is landing for the client, and the best gift you can give to somebody, in my humble opinion, aside from tuning to their way of being fully and listening to them, because the human race have lost this gift of listening to each other, is to speak in a way that's land for them, because we usually show up from our way of being and it's not landing, and the person is paying a lot of money for this and it's not landing. But if I can get that gift, to me, that's worth the tuition.
And that's a big one too, right? Because we want to speak to our audience. If whether you're going to be global or just one-on-ones, you want to be able to speak wherever they are.
Oh yeah, I
meet them where they are, right? That's the most important thing. We have to meet them where they are.
Totally.
That's powerful. Thank you for that, Atta.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Anyone else? I keep seeing Crystal, you're good. Carmen, you're good. We're good?
Okay. Cheryl, you're good?
Yeah? Okay, good. Perfect. Sarah, you're good? Trisha, you guys are good? Okay. Perfect.
Good. So
Later.
Not just an hour and a half.
Yeah, not too bad. So I'd love, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, feel free to get in touch with Divi and I. If you have any other questions, we can, set up a Facebook group or, on Facebook message or something if you need us.
Christine asked what the date that the course starts. We have September.
Yeah.
Okay.
September.
Bad question.
Christine, I love you so much.
I'll tell you what it is mainly is here in the States we have a holiday, so that's what, and Divi and I've got to coordinate our schedules.
Yeah,
that's the biggest, and we've got to figure out the day.
Yeah,
that's to determine when we start too.
For probably the first or second week of September, the first or second week. Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Probably the second week.
Yeah, because we just what we did with the January intake was we started the second week, and we met and we just taught every week. Do you know what I mean, Christine? So that they didn't have a break for a pod group. They went to February, and then they got their pod group break then. So they did like 6 or 7 weeks right at once, and that way immersed, and that really, really worked. Do you know what I mean? Like Lynette and I followed her intuition. We got the guidance to start the second or third week of January, and it worked beautifully. Do you guys remember that? we just kind of fired through at the beginning, and you guys felt held and supported. So then when they got to the pod group, Chris, it totally worked. So
Nice.
Yeah,
cool.
so it's 6 weeks and kind of 6 weeks in a row without a break, which can feel intense if you're starting. But the great thing about it is that you really are held, and it's like, okay, we're right here, we're right here, we're right here, and it doesn't give that gap where you just, kind of like herding cats. People take off.
Yeah, makes sense.
Perfect.
Yeah, cool, perfect. Any other comments or questions? Where are you guys at? Perfect. Awesome. So yes, like Lynette said, feel free to email us, talk to us. We're more than happy. We're here. We're not going anywhere. And this is our gift to you guys. This is what we love to do. So thank you guys so much for showing up live.
Yeah. Thank you for taking the time out of your schedule. Really, it really matters. We appreciate it.
Yeah. And it was so good to see your faces. So
yes.
But yeah, fire me an email, and then we can, or Lynette, fire one of us an email and let us know where you guys are at. We can kind of take. This will change your lives in ways you can't imagine. Oh, that's Sharon. Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Sharon. You're so sweet.
Thanks.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
Have a great one. Take care. Much love.
You guys have a great night. Ciao.
Bye, everybody who's watching the recording.
Oh, bye, everyone. We're watching the recording.